Mayhem junkies, friends, followers, FYI, gals, guys, wanting to do some polymeric sand. Here we go. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've put all types of polymeric sand out there. I've done thousands and thousands of bags of it. So again, first and foremost, you need to make sure that you follow the manufacturer instructions on how to properly install it. But I'm going to give you some pro tips that will help you. All right. So here we go. There's two types of polymeric sand. You have a Techniseal, and then you have a Techniseal HP. Those two types, like this one here is a Techniseal, and then the Techniseal HP would be a different type. The HP you want to use for handicap ramps, slopes, pulled decks, things that there's a lot of water running across it at all times. Something with the bond between the resin and the sand size, etc. And it does make a big difference. So again, Techniseal and Techniseal HP. All right, a couple of things. First thing is you need to make sure that your pavers are bone dry before you can start sanding. So like right here, for example, you have a little bit of moisture there. I can't do nothing right here yet. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the sun to come up over the house so I can go ahead and sand correctly. All right, see another wet spot right there. We can't do that yet, so we have to wait. I like to do it all at one time. I don't like to piecemeal it together. So, you know, I like to tamp and sand everything at one time. It makes things a whole lot easier. And so, two other pointers. The broom size for sweeping it in. I like to use a medium size or the bristles. The bristles are very important on a broom. There's two different types. You have this one here, which is more of a big, heavy-duty industrial size. I do not like to use this one for the pavers. This one right here, however, this one is a little bit more finer, a little bit more loose. This one's broken, of course, but Quickie makes some good ones from Home Depot, Lowe's. And I would highly recommend using the smaller diameter bristle. It will make your life easier, and it would help you fine tune the cracks so you're not overpowering or dragging too much sand out of the cracks during the application. All right. What works best for me is what I do is go ahead and I cover the entire paver. I'll cover everything, and I'll go ahead and do a video so I'm gonna probably do some plug and play stuff. So here you go. Here goes the sanding application. All right, guys, another couple things too is make sure you wear your PPE, good respirator right here, and some hearing protection when you run the equipment. It's very important that you run a good respirator. All right, guys, here goes halfway sanding. What I like to do is dump all my sand out that I know, you know, over a period of time, you understand on how much sand goes where, you know, how much not to pour too much. But here's what I do. I systematically start, and then I start dragging everything to the edges, right? So I start in the back, I make long pushing sweeps with the broom, just kind of making passes with it, raking in the corners. But what I do in the corners typically, I don't know if you can see that right there, is I kind of pile it up a little bit in the corners and along the edges, because when I tamp it, it'll vibrate down in those corners. You don't want any voids. You want to try to maximize your sand ratio, get it in all the cracks nice and even. That is a trick to it. All right, so yeah, you just want to keep going around. You want to kind of keep sweeping along the edges here, and occasionally, depending on if your sand has any moisture in it or whatever, you'll get these occasional clumps like this right here. See that? You got to make sure that is not in there. So like right here, you need to stop what you're doing, pick up the clumps. And it does happen occasionally. It's sand, it's got contact cement in it, and it's very important. So anyhow, stay tuned for the next one. And a hand brush. A hand brush can be your best friend, especially if you're doing areas like that right there. You see that? You can take this little hand brush in there, sweep your sand in. Try to get it in there. It'll let you know when it's full. Just keep putting it in there. There we go. And then I'll leave a little pile right there, just a small pile, just like that. See that? I was mounted up a little bit, because when I tamp it, it'll go down in those holes. All right, same thing right here. Just go down here like that. You could probably do it with a little hand broom, a little kitchen broom or whatever, but that seems to work. All right, so after the sanding application is done, then what I do is go ahead and use my tamper. I use a plate tamper. This is Old Glory right here. She fires up, she's been with me a while, but fantastic. So, little plate compactor. So what I do here is I go to Tractor Supply, and they have these horse mats. They're like 1/2-inch horse mats. And I'll take those horse mats and I'll cut it down the size. I think they come in a 4x8 sheet. And if you do a lot of tamping, pavers or whatever, you'll have you several pieces that'll last you. This piece right here is lasting me 2 years. So, and it's great. It's cheap, inexpensive. I think it's less than $100. And what you do here, you just drill some holes in the horse mat and fasten it with some washers and some nuts and bolts. 1, 2, and 3. And that works really well. So again, yeah, that's what I'm going to do here. Just make sure you follow your manufacturer instruction on the bags, and just be careful. So the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and the step that's very important, a lot of people don't understand it, is I'm going to show you a little clip of this one. After you get done tamping it in, you take your broom and you broom everything back again, going back and just touch up some of the cracks and stuff. All right, and how I wash it or blow it off before I wet it down. And the wetting down process is crucial. So pay attention to this one. This is the wetting down process. All right, after you tamp it, this is what it's gonna look like right here. You see that? Now you want to go ahead and physically inspect it for any kind of low spots, any pavers that, especially on the edges right here. I got too close to the edge on this one here. You see that right there? So what you're gonna have to do before you put any water on it is you need to go ahead and get your paver tools and go ahead and raise that paver up and put some number 8 underneath it. All right, and yeah, that's it. Nice and flat. Your joints look pretty consistent all the way around. Now you just go ahead and take your broom and you want to go ahead and touch up everything. And get ready for sweep it again. So you want to go ahead and sweep it again. You want to kind of get all the residue, much of the residue off as possible. I normally take a blower and I'll kind of lightly just blow it off, very lightly, and then ready for the watering process. All right, here we go, the water down process. What I like to use is the shower mode, just like that, for the initial process, for the very first one. And I like to do it like this, just do it systematically. Start in the back here. You just want to go ahead and you don't want it really, you don't want it heavy, you just want to throw it on there. Just kind of get it in there lightly. Let it soak down. Try to make it uniform as possible. And you want to go ahead and do the whole thing like that. All right, and then after this step, what happens is you wait probably 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, go find something else to do, have lunch, and come back and do it again. And then after the second time, then you want to go ahead and do a final rinse off after it's dry. But again, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been a fun project. Thanks for tuning in with me. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. We got some really good tips coming up in the future. So again, thank y'all. Appreciate you. Peace out.